Alright, what's going on, YouTubers? So today I am meeting with a buddy of mine. His name's Andy Traub. You can check him out at takepermission.com. So I had messaged Andy because Andy is he's a smart dude, and he's able to kind of take a look at somebody else's business on what they're trying to accomplish and just really give them a roadmap. Like, I've had a lot of other friends that have went to Andy for advice and to help out. So I messaged him because I've had this course idea, and it's not just a course, it's much more than that. So if you look at all the big names like a Dave Ramsey, and he has his baby steps, you know, Financial Peace University. You have David Bach, you know, where he has the latte factor. All these personal finance gurus have their thing. Except Susie Orman, I'm not sure what she has other than the, the orange tan. Sorry, I'm not a big Susie fan. So I have this thing, this idea that has been lingering for over a year now, and I've been wanting to get it out there. I've been wanting to get it there in the public because, you know, they all say you just gotta ship it. You know, put it out there and make adjustments and just make it work. But, you know, just in the process, you know, we've been moving, we moved to Nashville, we've been building a house, and there's just been a lot of transition with that. So I just haven't had the time. And then I just really felt that if I was going to put it out there in that state, it would have been forced, it would have been rushed, and I wouldn't have been ready to really put it out there the way that I want to put it out there. Plus, I didn't feel like I had the vision yet. And one of the things that I've learned through the years is that I'm a very high quick start. If you don't know what a quick start is, I'm gonna have a video that talks more about that. But basically, I'm the big idea guy, and I just wanna get it out there. I just, you know, I ready, shoot, aim, you know, as I'd like to say, right? So I just like to put it out there, and even if there's a typo, or if it's just not perfect yet, like, I'm okay with that, because I will adjust after the fact. But in this situation, I wanted to spend some time and just let the idea develop. You know, like just like planting a seed and watering it and giving it some sun and just letting it grow naturally, so that when it's ready to be put out there, it's ready. People are gonna love it, it's gonna make a lot of sense, and it's going to be a home run. So I've been at peace with that, because I've been sitting on this for, like I said, over a year. And what I've also done is I've actually filed a trademark on one of the terms that I want to use in this course idea, in this concept that, you know, I want to release to the public. So it's in the process of going through the trademark process, which is this is the first time I've done that. Why I'm telling you all this today is I'm getting ready to meet Andy as soon as I can find a parking spot, and we're meeting at a coffee shop close to my house, and he's just gonna help me put this, I guess, just put it into action. You know, take this idea that I have up here and give me a plan on what that looks like. The one thing too, though, I want to warn you, or just give you a heads up, is in this as we're meeting today in this coffee shop, one, it's gonna be loud because it's a coffee shop, but two, ever so often you're going to hear a beep. And anytime that you hear a beep, that means that I've said a name or a concept name or something that I've filed to be trademarked, or will be filing to have trademarked, that I haven't, I'm just not ready to release to the public yet. So that's what is going on there. So anytime you hear a that is what's going on. So, all right, so I'm getting ready to head into the coffee shop to meet with Andy, and it's wet, so we're gonna get wet together, enjoy it. All right, let's see what Andy has to say. My man, Andy Traub, would you quickly just explain who you are, what you do, and what you're going to help me do today?
I'm going to help you make decisions. Decisions are progress, and we get paralyzed by all the things we can do, and so I'm going to help you make some decisions, because you have a lot of great ideas, but you need to make some decisions. So I generally come alongside and partner with people that have a lot of options and just need to choose a path, and that usually includes taking an idea that they have or a service they have and digitizing it, putting it online, finding a way to reach more people, different price points, things like that, but just by digitizing it. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Awesome. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is where I'm at, where I want to be. When I think of like a Dave Ramsey and his baby steps, you know, he's helping people accomplish a very simple goal. You know, like save that $1,000, get your emergency food stuff, you know, get towards your path of financial independence. when I started thinking about what I've done, you know, what do I stand for, and it's been I've had to ask myself a lot, you know, and I started going down the basic personal finance approach, and I feel like Dave's got that, you know, he's got a great path, and I love those baby steps.
Right. So you're not going to try to out Dave.
I'm not going to out Dave.
I've got one less baby step. Take that.
Yeah, I got the baby step. One baby step. Just take that baby step.
Buy a lottery ticket.
So then it started gravitating towards, okay, after that you accomplish those baby steps, what's the next step? You know, for most people it's investing, it's saving, or it's building wealth. Yeah. And I feel like the term building wealth has, I mean, it's not used a lot, but I mean, it's definitely people want to work towards, but I think a lot of times people have a hard time trying to, they think of wealth building, you know, at least for me, this might date me a little bit, but you start thinking about caviar dreams and yachts and whoever that guy's name was.
Robert somebody.
Yeah, that guy, whatever that show was. Yeah. And, you know, so I think it's redefining what wealth is to you. So I started going down that path. And then I start thinking about what I've done personally. And personally, I feel like I've gone on a path of building wealth, but I've done so differently. Okay. You know, it's not the,
have you built a different kind of wealth, or have you built wealth differently?
I feel that I've built wealth differently and quicker than probably what most financial planners, even what I've talked about, you know, because it's easy to say, oh, start saving $100 a month into a mutual fund, or, you know, buy some stocks. And I think that's great. You know, I think for a lot of people that makes sense. But then there's the others that want to live, you know, they're willing to take some more risk, or they're willing to step outside the box and think, oh, what else can we do?
Or they're just frustrated with the current options.
Current options. So, you know, I started looking at my own life, and, you know, yeah, I started down that traditional path of, you know, doing mutual funds. Obviously, I was a financial planner, so I was, you know, I did what I was teaching. And then somewhere along the way, you know, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and started thinking about how do I get to the investor side, or, you know, that side, and, you know, just started thinking about other options. And that's when led to me starting a blog. Yeah. You know, but before that, there were a lot of failed attempts in multi-level marketing, real estate, and others that just didn't work out. And so I started doing something different, you know, and I started looking at other people and how they built wealth, and it was a different niche or a different strategy, but it was almost like a similar concept. So this leads us to like our first bleep in the video. But then I thought about, you know, what did I do? Like, you know, I became a you know, I hacked my way into building wealth, you know, by looking what other people have done and applying that to my same strategy. So this term was what I'm trying to create the steps.
Well, okay, so create the steps, but just know this: you've already created it. It's just a matter of extracting, right? Yeah. I mean, that's and I say that because I want to affirm, like, the idea. First of all, because we don't want to do too many bleeps. I've had to edit videos, so I won't say it too much because I know what a pain it is. Yeah. But that idea, it's like, man, like, awesome. The question for you is, how do you start to extract it and then put it out there in a way that you're confident and you feel good about, but also people can understand? Because no one goes 7 baby steps. That's so complicated. Like, no one's ever said 7, because they're called baby steps. Even the name, right? Yeah. So even the name that you just said, it elicits like, oh, you can do it differently, right? You can hack the system. Like, that's great. Yeah, it's great. So you should feel very good about the idea. And also, I just want to affirm, you probably have a lot of it. It's just a matter of going in. It's like when someone uncovers a pyramid and they find a thing, it's like nobody's had to take the good stuff out, right? So it's already there. So I love the idea. Where are you stuck?
I think I got stuck in the sense that, you know, and it's the details, right? Like, this is where I feel like I'm walking through quicksand. Okay. Where, okay, that's the name. Like, well, is that the name of the course, or is that just the name of the people that are part of the community, and the course is actually something else? Or is it a course? Is it a membership site? Is it a bunch of different courses, you know, that get you there? Because within this, so another name which we'll bleep out is but spelled differently. Which I don't have a trademark pending for that one, but I registered the domain.
Okay.
But so it's like, all right, we're going to.
Yeah. Right.
Once you go through that, you become a part of the wealth hacker community.
Not as sexy by any means, but it could be part of the larger wealth hacker brand. Now, wealth hackers go through. Yeah. So also solid. You're 2 for 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
my question is, where are you stuck? And I got more good ideas, which again doesn't sound like that's like saying I'm stuck. I don't know which really nice restaurant to go to. Like that's not actually a problem. That's a first world problem. You know what I mean? You know, it's like what should I do with all my lottery winnings? You know, like that's not an actual problem. You know what I mean?
I guess I'm stuck in the sense that I don't know how to release it. Like I don't know how, because when I started outlining the steps for myself, like I realized, man, like there's different components, you know, and so there was like just like goal setting, but the way that I do goal setting, like that almost became a course in itself. You know, it's part of the steps of becoming this.
Goal setting is a step in the system. Correct. Right. It's not the whole system. It's a necessary part of the system, but you know, is that part 1 of 9? And oh my gosh, what are the other 8? And is that digital, or is it a book, or is it a blog post? Yeah, these are all things that can paralyze you, right? Yeah. But your concern was, I think I heard you say, like, I don't know where to start. You know, as you get so many different options, right? And again, it's a good problem. Like if I say write down 30 ideas around this topic, you could do that without, I mean, I give you 6 minutes to write down 30 ideas that relate to this. And they're going to be blog posts or courses or keynote speeches or whatever. You could just barf that on a page, no problem. Yeah. Which to me communicates you just have to start with something to get it out there and to get people tasting it. And then you've got to learn from what people are hungry for. Yeah. And iterate based on the hunger of your market, right? Yeah. But you've got to get over the fear of thinking like I've heard this about Elon Musk, that at one point when he was launching one of his rockets, if that rocket failed, he was done. Like literally, it's like, well, if this works, but if it doesn't, like literally all of his money was in that rocket, right? Yeah. All of your money is not in this rocket. So the idea is you need to launch 1.0, and it's not going to be everything, but it's going to be part of it. And then you're going to learn, and then you're going to launch again, you're going to learn. So I don't know a whole lot about your personality, but I know that I'm guessing generally you go, goal, I will achieve this goal, right? So if that's true, then your goal is 1.0. It's not 10.0. That is an unrealistic goal when you're at 1.0, right? So 1.0, if I said, okay, you can launch 1.0 in the next 3 weeks, what would you be excited about? And all it has to be is 1.0. It doesn't have to be a course. It could be 4, you know, it's called teleseminars, you know, like you get on, right? Yeah. But it could be 4 Zoom calls. It could be, I mean, but it's 1.0. It's like, do people like this idea? And yes, it costs money, right? Like what would, you can execute on it. You might need a little help, right? But like, what could 1.0 look like that you would be like, I'm proud of this. It's not what I want it to be forever. But like, what could 1.0 look like?
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to show Andy some of the stuff that I've been working on, and so he can kind of take a look and maybe help with what 1.0 is. Okay. And we're going to do that real quick, and we'll be right back. All right. So we're calling a wrap. We're actually going to eat some Mexican and get some chips and salsa.
I think you're going to buy me lunch, right?
I am. I am going to treat him to lunch first time, but I think the biggest takeaway for me was, and we talked a lot about 1.0, like what's the 1.0 version, and I think the biggest struggle that I had was not just the 1.0, but how am I going to launch 1.0, or what is 1.0 going to look like? And really, I was at 10.0, what we kind of joked about. So, you know, Andy's gave me just like some basic steps on how do I outline it? How do I just launch it in the most basic, pure form? Right. You know, get some people that are interested, you know, in the tribe that have been following me for a while, and yeah, and I feel like I have a plan, and I don't know what it took me meeting with this guy for me to, because I felt like I knew all this stuff, but yet, would you talk a little bit about that? I mean, it's funny how you can be told the same thing over and over again, but sometimes it takes coming from somebody else, or even could be the same person in a different format.
And again, you have a great problem, which is that you know a lot. But also it's the curse of knowledge and the curse of possibility. I share a story that my wife one time she sent me to the store and said, go get butter. And I turned the corner to look at the butter section, and I said to myself, why are there so many different kinds of butter? And my point is this, is that there's so many choices. There's so many different choices that we get overwhelmed by that. And we go, I don't even know where to begin. So for me, there was 37 kinds of butter, and I knew I was going to choose the wrong one. For you, is it a course? Is it a blog? Is it a podcast? And so we end up doing nothing. We end up just standing there, and we don't do anything. And what we all need to do is just to make a decision. Every decision is progress. And so today, you decided this is what 1.0 looks like. You didn't decide it's going to be perfect. You didn't decide that it's always going to be that way. But you made a decision. This is what 1.0 is going to look like. And then you're going to learn, and then you're going to grow from that. And it's going to build. But until you decide what 1.0 is, 10.0 is never going to happen.
Yeah, I know for me, maybe like a better analogy is, I think about like my kids love building Legos. And it's like, all right, am I building the Millennium Falcon, out of the gate, or am I going to build like the little sidecar, that's 15 pieces or something like that? And our kids generally don't start by building the Millennium Falcon. They don't, nor do we have that expectation, but we expect ourselves, because we know it exists and you could get it. No, like just start simple and grow from there. And it's one of the curses of being capable, is you could do all of it. We could do a membership site. I could have talked to you about, but that's where you meet with people, you need to make sure what their agenda is. Because if I was just a membership site guy, I'd say, oh, build a membership site, right? But my goal for you is, what can you ship, what can you create in the next week that will help you learn and move closer to 10.0? Because my goal for you is not 1.0, it's 10.0. But first is 1.0. And you decide that today, and it'll be awesome. So that's the story, and I'm going to debrief right after this, after we eat some lunch, and just kind of tell you what does 1.0 look like, and actually some of you might be interested in checking that out.
You definitely will be interested.
You will be interested, as Andy said, so.
Absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. All right, so I'm back at the house now. I was going to record this whenever I was in the car, but it started raining really hard, and that would have been very, very noisy. So I'm back in the office and just kind of wanted to unpack what Andy and I kind of talked about at lunch and afterwards. So let me get this lined up. All right, looking good, looking good. Okay, so the funny thing about this is that if you check out one of my other videos, I talk about how I made $11,000 on an idea. And in that video, I talked about how I had a course concept, and this is for the Online Advisor Growth Formula, which is my course that shows financial advisors how to use online marketing to grow their brand. And in that video, I talked about how did I test that? Because one of the biggest fears of being a creator, especially like of a digital product, is you spend all this time and energy creating something that nobody wants. So what's one way that you can do it? Well, if you kind of come up with a concept and then you have a way to ask if people are interested. In my case, it was an email list. I wrote out basically like the outline of what the course was going to cover, sent out some emails, and then I had 24 advisors willing to pay $500 to be a part of this beta group. And I've done that already, but for whatever reason, I couldn't do that with this. And I think it's because I had all of these different visions, all these different ways that I thought that this was that I could launch it. So I just got paralysis by analysis, just couldn't take that first step. And the other aspect, I was just stressing out about, how am I going to launch this thing? Is it going to be a course? Is it going to be a membership? Is it going to, what materials am I going to cover? Am I going to do a 6-week masterclass, like a live training? There were so many different ways of doing this that I couldn't pick just one, and I guess I just needed an outside voice or somebody that's had some experience in this launching something, and that's really where Andy came into play. So basically the game plan that we came up with, what is 1.0? And here's the funny thing. So here's actually some cool advice. If there is somebody that a business or an influencer that you want to emulate, like you just enjoy their teaching style, however they do things, what the courses they launch, There's an influencer, a guy who I've been following for a long time. I've met him a few times. This dude, he has an 8-figure business. So, I mean, I'm signed up to his email list because I want to see what content he's putting out, what courses is he launching, and just to see how he goes about marketing, you know, these new strategies. And just 2 days ago, I got an email from him about this live training that he was doing, and it was limited spots. He was charging a fee to go through it. And so I say all that because that's the 1.0. So this concept that I've been grooming for quite some time, to get it out there is, one, I want to see if people are interested. 2, are they willing to buy it? And then 3, what's the feedback that I'm going to get from, you know, this concept, from this course, this product, whatever this is. But really, it's more or less what's feedback on the concept. So that's my 1.0. I'm going to email my list and see who is interested. I'm going to try to segment my email list to try some different pain points and just different concepts I think that I'll be covering, and just to see what really resonates with people. And then from there, I'm going to do a live training and then get some real feedback from those that attend. And that's it, 1.0. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect. The most important thing is you have to ship it. And I've known that. I just struggled with in what format was I going to ship. I was very close to doing a 6-week live training, which eventually that might be what I do. That might be 2.0. And that's a lot more to plan for. But to ask people to commit to 1 hour, one time, I mean, that's a much easier commitment than saying, hey, I want this 6-week program that you're getting ready to come out with. So anyway, that is what I have to look forward to. I'm pumped. It's going to be coming out. If you're on my email list, you might hear about it. If you don't, actually, I'm probably gonna have a link somewhere in the description where to see if you are interested, just for trying to get some pre-information for those that might be interested in this concept. It is revolve around wealth building. I don't know if you've got that from the video. I'm not sure what's going to be bleeped out, what we're going to include, because you will hear the bleeps as Andy and I are talking. But it does revolve around wealth building, and just basically the steps and measures that I've taken to build the wealth that I have, and also what I've seen others people do. Not doing the exact same thing. You know, they're doing it in, I guess, a different strategy, but a lot of the principles that I'll be teaching can be applied across so many different ways of building wealth, and that's what I want to share, at least the initial mindset in this live training. So if you're on the email list, you might get the email. If not, then check out the link. We'll have a quick survey so that you can just to see if you're interested and what information that we might need to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. I hope this video was helpful. I want to do more of these, really just a day in the life of the things that I do, the things that I work on, the concepts that I'm doing. I got a lot of cool things going on behind the scenes. A lot of things that I'm learning just with building a business and how do you structure a business, and just the daily challenges of what it's like to be an entrepreneur and a business owner. And I want to share more of that so you can learn through my experiences and also some of the silly decisions I'm sure that I still make, even though I've been doing this for a while. All right, if you haven't yet, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't. And once again, just appreciate you tuning in. Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your life, your money, and only you can make it awesome. Peace out.